Welcome everyone to the Season 1 review of AmzroSevca, where we'll be taking a look at the highlight of the season and what new content was brought to you. To kick things off, we have Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, yes, the first one in the trilogy, and potentially the roughest one. The playthrough goes through all the zones and even features a boss rush bonus and a demo showcasing the special stage design of the game. Following it were some neat design projects featuring game menu animations and a relaxing sprite art music mix. After a short comparison between the general zone theming of Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, we dive straight into the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and boy, was it quite a hassle. While still fun, it's not as quite as up to par as this more well-known 16-bit counterpart, which is to be expected considering that it runs on inferior hardware. Beyond that, another boss rush was released along with the demo of the special stages featured in Sonic 1's 8-bit version. The season was wrapped up with a few showcase videos of various cancelled, obscured, or unreleased Sonic titles, in addition to some compilations, comparisons, music mixes, and even a recreation of Big Brain Academy using Sonic's Edgysoft. The greatest part about the tail end of the season though? The parody of Google Fi's terrible ads that have been plaguing YouTube for the past few months. And now after a couple of ROM hack showcases, here we are, celebrating the end of the first season. So, what is the future looking like? Well, to start, the next season, while containing the same amount of episodes, will be far longer and contain a more diverse collection of content. Videos are expected to be a bit longer and more exciting ideas are expected to show up. The theme of this upcoming season will be Halloween and the Sonic Hacking Contest. We all know what Halloween is, but what about the Sonic Hacking Contest? This contest is similar to the Sonic Amateur Game Expo in that they both feature games in Sonic the Hedgehog. However, with the hacking contest, the content is strictly limited to modifications of Sonic games and similar content, so you don't have any indie games or fan games taking front and center. This year should be a fun time and I'm looking forward to what the entries provide. The cutoff for this upcoming season will be sometime in November if all goes according to plan, so hit that subscribe button, switch on the notification bell, and prepare to be entertained. Do note that every season review will serve as a discussion board of that season, so if you like something within this season, feel free to leave a comment on this video. In the meantime, keep that Amzro energy up. Welcome everyone to the Season 2 review of AmzroSevca, where we'll be taking a look at the highlight of this season and what new content was brought to you. Starting off this season, we have several music projects ranging from VHS wave music mixes to lo-fi remixes and a few things in between. Along with that, there are a few showcases of SAC entries from this year's contest. 2021 definitely saw some creative ROM hacks and managed to either give the graphics of the Sega Genesis a second life or introduce new gameplay elements that were dedicated to keeping the player engaged. After a short tour of Super Smash Bros. Melee running at 120 frames per second and a few more music projects, Halo Reach entered the episodic lineup. Admittedly, the gameplay is not all too exciting considering that it's the host of casual matches on various big team battle maps. After a couple of weeks of playing Halo Reach, two grand collaborative Sonic video projects were released featuring Sonic Advance 3 and Sonic Colors. These projects showed off both games with high-end graphic mods and custom music to theme them. Next up was a listen of Sonic 3's Beta Carnival Night Zone Act 1 music with a custom Sony Discman. An opinionated take, but it sounds better than what we got in the final release, so it was a joy to share. Following it were a few attempts at figuring out how to make drifting viable in San Francisco Rush 2049, and two full feature-length playthroughs of Metroid on the NES and GBA. While they're both the same game, one video features the NES version, while the other features the NES Classics GBA version. Then, a step above Grand Strike of the World came the biggest music project of them all, Rockman Sidreos EXE. This music project is a work of fanfiction in the form of a fan album. It is something you should certainly check out if you're a fan of the Mega Man franchise. Mixed in with a series of record shares was a small hands-on review of Windows 11. Following it was a sneak peek at the newest design project that is currently in the works, The Legend of Zelda Oracles of Light, a pending fan game that seeks to finally bring Zelda fans the third chapter in the Oracle trilogy in a connective way. The season was eventually wrapped up with the completed second version of Luigi's Bloody Mansion, an experienced mod for the original Luigi's Mansion on Nintendo GameCube that adds various features and elements. And with a full playthrough of said mod out, here we are at the grand end of the second season. Not much is to be said about the future currently, and Season 3 is still having its details finalized, so whatever comes your way will be a surprise this time around. But do know that an X-15 Season 4 is in the works. The cutoff for Season 3 will be sometime in early December, depending on how everything goes. So, make sure to hit that subscribe button, switch on the notification bell, and prepare to enjoy some vivid content. Do note that every season review will serve as a discussion board of that season, so if you like something within the season, then feel free to leave a comment on this video. In the meantime, keep that Amzro energy up.
Hey there everyone, Amzer here with a small update video to wrap up the end of the year on this channel. By the time you'll all be watching this, it will be New Year's Eve already. I want to quickly discuss some of the changes that will be made to the channel going forward and showcase all the work that's been done over the past several years. So before we get into the showcase, let me explain how the AmzroSevca channel will be handled differently. For starters, there will be no more discussion notices on videos. While this was originally intended to help with making channel quality control easier, primarily in the comments of course, it has become more bulky and ultimately unnecessary since the channel as it is now has an extremely small viewer base and most videos receive no comments to start with. So instead of having completely open comment sections while others are entirely closed off, every video from here on out will have a comment section where comments will be held for review. Now, let's talk about the seasons. In this past year, 4 seasons have been produced within the span of 3 months, and every season contains 60 episodes. So in just 90 days, viewers were hit with 240 videos, which is a lot to say the least. That's about 2 to 3 videos a day. Granted, many of the videos that have already been uploaded were remastered versions of videos from previous channels and projects or videos that did not have a high production time value. However, going forward, this is all going to change drastically. Seasons will be far more spread out rather than being released back to back on a daily or weekly schedule, and the videos of the seasons will be far more spread out as well. This is because I wanted to start crafting more substantial and diverse projects so I'll be the face of the new era of my portfolio. Plenty of the stuff that makes up the first 4 seasons are ideas that I've had since I was a little kid and worked on here and there throughout my teen years. Most of it is centered around fictional franchises from video games and movies for better or for worse, or a few music tracks that I liked. And while there are plenty of different ways in which content was made, the topic always remained relatively the same and nothing impressive was ever really done with what was given. So knowing this going into 2022 and beyond, I figured it is time for me to start letting the cookies bake in the oven until they're crisp and golden brown. This way I can bring more exciting and inventive content to the table that dwarfs the smaller things that I've done here and there. And to wrap this segment up, my Patreon along with this channel and surrounding products will be seeing renovations, so keep your eyes out for some nice changes. With that being said, thank you so much to all of you who have been following me and my work up until this point. It means a lot to see what I make brighten up another person's day or inspire them to get creative. Huge ideas are coming down the pipeline, so I'll catch all of you in the next season.
Welcome back to another season review. This time, it's a 5th one. The studio has come quite a way and I want to thank all of you for helping the channel achieve its first milestone of 50 subscribers and 11,000 views. I know that to many people, 50 subscribers may not sound a lot, but I have not had a number this high since late 2014 when I had my very first YouTube channel. I am surprised that my first attempt at a YouTube channel was even able to attract 50 subscribers considering that the content that I was making back then was pretty subpar. So now over a decade later, after over 5 past attempts at creating a channel base, I have found some sort of footing. Though, I suppose it should be known that what I do now is more of a studio portfolio rather than just a profile that turns out content to rake in views in hopes of a certain amount of money. As even visible now, YouTube combined with COPPA regulations and copyright constraints is not a very viable source of income unless you're willing to turn it into a full-time job, which, for some people, that sucks the joy out of it. Personally, I wouldn't be on YouTube if there was an alternative that took itself seriously, but any competitors that YouTube might have once had either completely died off due to an absent user base or because they got caught up in the tsunami of blockchain fever. Simply put, I use YouTube as a means of constructing my portfolio. This is namely why most of my content is stuff I make, rather than just being content produced for the sake of being content. And explains why the upload schedule is never rigidly consistent. This season has seen some new developments and I've been trying out some new strategies to better organize my portfolio and make it easier to navigate. However, reflecting on how some of the new attempted changes have impacted my channel front, I might evolve things further, which is to be expected anyways, I guess. Some of you might have remembered my discussion from the previous season where I stated that things would come out a lot more slowly in order for larger projects to be worked on. This is in part true, but this season also started to stack up a lot quicker than I initially expected. There were planned projects, and of course they came through, but the release schedule became screwed up after I realized that I had underestimated how big each project actually was, and before I knew it, I had a lot of smaller side projects taking up video slots. Some of them weren't even projects in fact. But despite some of the unexpected happenings of the season, I think it shaped up to be what I needed it to be. The first real original season of this channel, sans Season 1, depending on if you count playing Sonic games as originals, seeing that I've done so in the past a lot. Seasons 2, 3, and 4 were mostly composed of old concepts that had been reimagined or old videos that had been remastered entirely. There was a plan to keep Halo as a mainstay, but as the vision of the studio kept evolving, it ended up being that keeping a certain game or a certain type of media as a regular piece of work within the studio would prove to be a problem. And this is where I should start talking about Season 6. Season 6 will happen. Sometime, at some point, eventually. And if not, then you can order a bunch of Talking Ben plushies to my address. But it will happen. There have been some uncertainty of a Season 6 happening since, as some friends and viewers know, things have been pretty unstable in my personal life, and with what's happening right now in our world, which is affecting practically every country in some form, it will take some time to build back up the motivation to produce anything for the studio again. Not to mention that I want to focus on launching a proper website for the studio, fix the current Patreon system, and start planning out in detail what Season 6 will be. One thing that I know for a fact is that Season 6 will be much different than previous seasons. I have decided that I want to make a project that is a span of an entire season. Season 5 almost ended up that way until I realized that I had multiple projects running parallel to each other and decided to wrap them all up within Season 5. But now that all of that is out of the way, I am looking to clear my board of ideas completely and start from scratch with something wholly original. In addition to wanting more time for Season 6, again, I am also trying to handle a lot of things in my personal life, ranging from finances to school. While there originally were plans to have Season 6 be published during the late spring of this year, those plans have become more liquid. Season 6 could arrive anywhere between late this summer and sometime between 2023 and 2024. It depends on how season planning goes, how long production time will be, etc. But with all of that being said, I want to again thank you all for watching my channel and enjoying the things that I do. Even though I'm not a content creator or a viral presence by any means, I enjoy design a lot, and this portfolio is my personal lab for trying out random experience relating to various departments such as music, graphic design, game guides, reviews, and real-life productions, photography, stream events, digital showcases, among many other things. I hope all goes well, and that I'll be back here with the Season 6 some month or year soon. In the meantime, keep that Amzro energy up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Welcome back to yet another video, everyone. I'm Amzro, and this is the final video of Season 6. Some of you might be hella confused right now considering the fact that Season 6 technically ended nearly 6 months ago to date, but don't worry, I'll explain what's been going on. So, after I initially ended Season 6, I shut down nearly everything in relation to my studio and kicked back for a while to just focus on my own life and other projects that were suffering because of my commitments to these 60 video long seasons. Not to mention that YouTube as a platform proves unviable for the things I wanted to do and still does, but after several months of working on the Horizon Wave project and its associated outlet, Horizon Wave TV, I decided that I wanted to start sharing creations again. Mind you, I had actually created stuff in those down months of the studio being frozen, so I ended up with a small backlog of creations that were just collecting dust on my hard drive. I had thought of just permanently archiving this channel that I'm currently posting to and keeping it as a neat record of 6 seasons. The same sort of ordeal happened at the end of Season 5 because I was feeling pretty rocky about the direction of the channel and the way that the YouTube algorithm was treating my work. But after some more thinking, I have decided that Season 6 will get a proper ending with proper content and will be reworked to live up to its potential. Even with Sonic Origins being a disaster, Sonic Frontiers, the 3D partner to it, has been far better than most ever expected. And Sonic Origins did admittedly get a patch, even if it was small, sometime after launch, which fixed some pretty embarrassing issues from release. While Sonic Origins definitely had problems, it is arguably far better than the disaster that was Sonic Forces, and I think at the end of the day, Sonic Origins and Sonic Frontiers make a decent enough pair of games. Sega did send out a survey asking about DLC for Sonic Origins, so perhaps we'll get news in the future of the game getting buffed. But as for right now, I think Season 6 has a pretty good amount of cohesion and that it's well-rounded enough to send off. Some of the videos that I uploaded both this month and last month were originally going to be Season 7 content, but I figured that it would be smarter to backfill Season 6 and properly conclude it before starting up a completely different direction. Now, I should make it clear that this new direction is the same new direction that I had in mind for Season 7 since last month. Videos will come out at a much slower rate because I'll be aiming to create more complex projects and longer length videos. This might mean more music mixing, new documentary styled videos, review videos, and a whole lot more that really enhances the nature of my studio's content. As for the metadata videos, Season 6 will be the season to mark a new format that was touched upon in the fall start of Season 7. No longer will videos use the episode-season format, but instead a new content-season format, since some videos are related to each other by theme while others are not. In addition to all of this, I have been hard at work to unify my virtual fronts, and you can now visit my website, which supports a full-blown portfolio and much better design. Along with it is also the Horizon Wave project, which is a desktop theme engine, and Azuro, which is a social network app project. Both can be found in the description below. I am unsure of what the future holds, but I'm very excited to once again create and share things with you guys, so be on the lookout for some shiny new content that's more robust than ever before. That's going to be all for this video, so I'll catch you guys on the Season 7 side.